Hey, beautiful people, it's Rickita back with another video. In this video, we're doing episode 198 of Credit 101. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the initial fraud alerts. I know in the last episode, we talked about three different type of fraud alerts, and basically we have the active duty, we have the initial, we have the extended, and we're going to basically go over each one of them. And this one is the initial fraud alerts. So if you don't know the different type of fraud alerts, you can watch episode 197. And it'll let you know what the different ones are, and then you can watch the targeted video for which one you actually need to do. Now, when it comes down to initial fraud alerts, an initial fraud alert is basically just a notice that is placed on your credit report and that warns creditors to take the extra steps to verify your identity before issuing new credit or loans. Now, for all different fraud alerts, it's basically the same thing. But we just have different periods on how long it lasts. Don't forget, this was only one that is going to last 90 days, and it's going to drop off from the 90 days from the time when you had it added onto your credit reports. Now, eligibility. So anybody who suspects that they may be a victim of identity theft or fraud, you can actually do the initial fraud alert. You do not need to be a confirmed victim to request one. A confirmed victim is an extended one. This one is just, hey, I suspect it, I need this. So how to place a fraud alert. So if you guys want to place a fraud alert, I actually have numbers here. I made sure I got this together for you all. So how to place the initial fraud alert. So you can call all three credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and tell them to place the fraud alert. You can also visit their website for each of them, and then provide them your personal information such as your name, address, social security number, your date of birth, and it may ask you to actually verify your identity too. But once you place a fraud alert, you should get some type of confirmation. Usually in the mail, they'll mail you out something like you know that you have a fraud alert that is placed. You're probably going to also get an email, but you're going to get confirmation that it has been placed. But that's how you're going to actually place the initial fraud alert. And you can do the same thing if you're watching initial for extended and also active duty. Literally just call them. It's just so easy. Just call them. So you guys need to understand the impact on it. When it comes down to the initial fraud alert, all it is making creditors do extra verification. It does not block access like a security freeze does. It just say, hey, go the extra step and actually call me or text me, ask for different additional verification, because it's a potential that somebody is trying to basically commit fraud with my name or do some type of identity theft. You will have credit report access. It's not going to be affected, but all it's going to do is just make them have to call you or ask for additional information. And a lot of times too, they may request a copy of your ID. And I talked in a previous video about how Walgreens, like when I applied for like the Walgreens credit card, the Lowe's credit card, those ones, they have literally like scanning your face just to make sure like you are who you are. I don't know if that's for everybody, but I knew also when I came down to, this is kind of off topic, when I came to Florida, it was applications like if you want to do rental applications, literally, and you did your lease, they literally scanned your face. Like it was like something I never saw before. I'm like, what is this? This is a lot. But yeah, fraud alerts are definitely necessary. Like they go the extra mile and like make sure that I am who I say I am. That's basically what it is. So when to use the initial fraud alert. Again, if you suspected that your identity theft, if you had some recent fraud, even if it was as simple as somebody a charge on my credit card, like those are warning signs, you guys, that maybe you need to put a freeze on your security freeze on your credit report and put fraud alerts out there. And it's just a preventive measure, such as sometimes you may see these data breaches that's happening, you guys, or if you, like I said in the last one, if you have gotten an email saying, hey, your information was compromised in a data breach, and that means that you may need to just place an initial fraud alert on your credit report just to make sure. Sometimes that stuff already happened and they last minute telling you about it, but just be careful because you're going to have a mess if you have to fix this stuff up, if you actually have fraud happen. Now, this can be renewed or extended. So you're going to have the initial 90 days. So all you need to do is just call them and let them know that I'm still having concerns and I need to have this renewed, and you'll get another 90 days. But if you find that you do need longer protection, consider just switching to the extended alert. And this is going to last 7 years and is available to anybody that's confirmed victims of identity theft. So if you're confirmed, you can get the extended. Don't play the game of, I'm just going to set it every 90 days. No. Get the extended one just to make sure that you're good. Because trust me, y'all, I don't want to go through any mess with trying to remove this stuff. You will want to just have precautions set up ahead of time. So don't forget, there is a difference between fraud alerts and security freeze. The security freeze is nobody's going to look at your credit at all until the security freeze is off. And a fraud alert is they can look at your credit, they can pull your credit report, but you have alert on there that, hey, I have fraud. You better call me. You better text me. You better make sure that I am who I say I am, because somebody else is stealing my identity. So understand the difference, because some people do fraud alerts, and when you guys just do fraud alerts, it's not like a security freeze. Like nobody can get your credit. You should automatically have a security freeze. I told you guys this in a previous video, a few episodes back. We talked about security freeze. Security freeze to all 3 credit bureaus is mandatory. That's a mandatory thing to me. When you want to apply for something, remove the security freeze and add it back on. A fraud alert is just, hey, I have fraud in the past. Just make sure I am who I am. So just understand the difference. And just if you have fraud, just to get the extended one too. Now the benefits of it. The benefits is you don't have to worry about someone actually taking over our identity or getting accounts in your name. And it's immediate protection too. So if you suspect you had identity theft or you going through something, it can happen immediately. Like same thing with a credit lock. You can literally lock your credit immediately. Ain't no, okay, I'm a give us a few days, we're gonna have it locked. No, immediately your credit report is locked. And if you want to know if you have a lock in your credit report, like I said, all you have to do is literally apply for a credit card, and they're gonna say, hey, we cannot approve you for this credit card until you unlock this credit report. This credit bureau. So contact this bureau and remove the security freeze from your credit report, and then we can approve you. So that's how you can know. And then the fraud alerts, you can call in to confirm them, but it's immediate protection. Now, it's some things that you do need to keep in mind. When you guys have these fraud alerts in your credit reports, it's going to be extra questions that they're going to ask. So be prepared for the potential delays and you actually getting approved for new credit, because they need to verify your identity more thoroughly. They need to make sure that you are who you say you are. You can't just say, hey, I have fraud, and then get mad when you just can't get everything approved like today, and or they asking for you to mail something in because they just trying to verify that you are who you say you are. And just make sure that you keep monitoring your credit report to make sure that the fraud alert is actually working. Like you're just not getting new accounts in your name that you don't even know where it came from. And again, you can't get new accounts if you have a security freeze. Okay, I just think that's so mandatory, but just keep these things in mind and continue to check your credit. Or also, when you got that security freeze, anything that you apply for, sometimes I believe the bureaus used to say, hey, we block something, or maybe get into Aura too, because Aura have a lot of stuff with the fraud alerts. They tell you about fraud alerts on your credit report. It's a 14-day free trial, and I have it in the description, but get into companies that can say what has recently happened to your credit, so that you can stay alert on any type of fraud potentially too. That way you don't have to keep looking. Sometimes people are like, oh, Rickita, it's just so much for me to look at certain things, or look at it daily. Have a company just tell you if there's something. They'll let you know right away, instead of you checking your credit report once a month because you're not using it, and then you finding out late about certain things. So definitely check out Aura. It's a free 14-day free trial, and it's in the description. Hey, welcome to episode 199 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about extended fraud alerts. So in the previous episode, we talked about the initial. Now we're talking about the extended. In the next one, we're going to talk about the active duty. So when it comes down to extended fraud alerts, you guys need to know that an extended fraud alert is basically a fraud alert that is going to be on your credit report for 7 years, and it requires creditors to take additional steps to verify your identity. So it's 7 years. The initial one was only 90 days. You can get that renewed. This one is actually 7 years, and it's available to individuals who actually have confirmed identity theft, and they have to provide supporting documents such as a police report or FTC identity theft report. You guys have to make sure that you guys have it confirmed. Actually do the police report or do the FTC report. You can do the FTC report online. I think it's identitytheft.gov. Don't quote me on that, but Google it. And you should be able to find an FTC identity theft report so you can fill it out online. Now, the impact of the extended fraud alert, the impact of it is that you guys will know that creditors are going to take the extra mile to always, they're going to go the extra mile to always make sure that they verify that you are who you say you are. A lot of times they're going to just request additional information from you. And usually they'll have to call you too. They'll let you know that they'll get back to you in like 7 to 10 business days on application, but then you'll get some type of email, call, or something from them saying that they need to verify your identity before they can approve you for the credit card. So I love that. And sometimes it's just security questions. Sometimes they may need a copy of your ID, each one of them is different, but the impact is that they're going to ask for information, and then you're going to still have access to, people going to still have access to your credit report, but it tells creditors they need to just basically confirm that it is you. Now, it is long-term protection, so it provides protection for up to 7 years, and this is for people that actually have confirmed identity theft or fraud on their credit report. Now, if you want more time, then you are going to have to apply again. If you want more than the 7 years, so you have to wait till that is over, and then you have to actually apply again to get your additional 7 years if that's what you want. Again, a fraud alert and security freeze is two different things. A security freeze is nobody can look at my credit reports. It's a complete lock on your credit reports. A fraud alert is just alerting them, hey, I know you got my credit report. Somebody said they want to apply for something. It could be me or it could be somebody else. We don't know. Can you please just verify my identity? So it's just a fraud alert. It's just where creditors are going the extra mile and verifying your identity. Now, keep them things in mind. This is not a security freeze. I tell everybody they need to put a security freeze on their credit report. When you want to apply for something, then go and call them and apply for it. Because I remember when I first started getting credit, it would be, I'll wake up one day, oh, I want to get a credit card. Like, no thought to it, didn't know anything, very young. Now that I'm older, I plan for different things like this. Now, like, oh, I want to get this credit card here because this is what I want to do with it. It's going to give me 0%, or I could do this with this thing. And I plan for certain things like, oh, I want more cash back on this. So I'm going to wait until this time and apply for it. I plan for these different things, and it's nothing for me just to call and get the security freeze on. You may go years without applying for anything, so you want to have a security freeze on there, knowing that no one can apply for anything. And you want to continue to check your credit reports too. Even though you got this fraud alert on there, you still need to check, because some companies still may let people get accounts in your name, and or maybe they got the verification information that they needed and they verify themselves as you. So you just want to make sure that you're checking your credit reports. And for those people that need to actually put this freeze on here, I actually have the phone numbers here so that you can call them. So to actually place the extended fraud alert, you can call all 3 credit bureaus or visit their website. You're going to need to provide a copy of the police report or FTC identity theft report to verify that you are a victim of identity theft. And then you should receive confirmation in your email. Maybe they'll mail you the too, to let you know that you do have the extended fraud alert placed. But extended, you guys, when you think of extended, think about, you have to actually provide the FTC report, and you have to actually or you need to provide the police report. And the FTC report, to me, may be a little easier for people. You can do it right at home online. You don't have depending on police station, they may have different things you need to do. That FTC report can get you where you need to go. Okay, so definitely make sure you guys check that out, and let's check out my website. Hey, welcome to episode 200 of Credit 101. I cannot believe we're at the 200th episode, and we're almost done with this whole Credit 101 thing. So it has been a journey, putting out one per day. This is almost a whole year to make. So this is very exciting that we're almost done with this, so we're going to go on to another topic. But Credit 101 is very, very important. In this episode, we're going to talk about active duty alerts. So we already talked about extended and initial alerts. Those are in the previous episodes. Now we have to talk about an active duty alert. So an active duty alert is basically an alert, but it's a specific layer of protection for individuals who are currently serving in the military and are deployed or on active duty. So this is just a protection to let creditors know, hey, I'm on active duty right now. I'm probably not even applying for that credit card. Can you double check that it is me? Because you can possibly get fraud during this time, especially if you suspected that you once had fraud. And it's just basically to help the military members from having potential fraud or identity that while they're on active duty are unable to closely monitor their credit. Security freezes, I cannot say this enough, to me is the best. You need to just have a security freeze. It's free. And then if you want to add additional fraud alerts, you could, but I just feel like you don't need to have fraud alerts if you got a security freeze and you're not going to just have your credit open. You're going to be applying for something, you're going to unlock it for that day, apply for it, and lock it back immediately. I just don't think that you'll have a lot of fraud. And while you're away, think about a security freeze too. This is all good and sounds nice, but I just think a security freeze is what you need if you don't have one on there already, just to guarantee it. Now, it's going to last for 12 months from the date that you actually place this security freeze. So keep that in mind. It's going to last for 12 months and it's available to anybody that's on active duty. So if you're on active duty, all you have to do is provide proof that you're on active duty and they would give this to you. Now, creditors have to take the additional steps to actually verify your identity before they extend any type of credit. So this is good. But again, if you do a security freeze, you unlock it at 1 p.m. on a random Thursday because you want to apply for these 2 credit cards and you locking it back. You don't have to worry about creditors having to confirm because you know that you only had your credit unlocked for 30 minutes or 10 minutes. You don't have to worry about somebody else getting access. But this is just an additional thing saying, hey, verify it. Your existing credit accounts will remain active. Nothing's going to change. It's just that creditors are going to verify that this is you applying for something new. And it basically increases protection. That's all it really is. So that while you're away from home, you don't have to worry about any type of fraud. And these active duty alerts last for 12 months. So if you want to have it extended, you have to call back in and let them know and provide proof that you have continued active duty status. Now, active duty is different than the other alerts. So active duty lasts 12 months. The initial is only 90 days. The extended is 7 years. These are all only fraud alerts. It's just to alert somebody, hey, I had fraud. But by then, they already pulled your credit reports and you don't know what type of verification they're going to do. Or if this person who is applying for these different things, trying to do this fraud or identity theft on you, what information they have that they can actually verify these different things. So I just always say consider a security freeze. I cannot stress it enough. A security freeze is mandatory. It's like minimum. Like everybody should have this on their credit report. When you want to apply for something, Equifax, you can go right in, log into the website, unlock your credit reports, apply for whatever you want, and lock it back. It shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes to do that. So just keep that in mind. And also with TransUnion, you can call them and set up the active duty alerts, any of these type of alerts, and also the security freeze. But security freeze, like, it's mandatory, y'all. Like, do security freeze, do security freeze, do security freeze. The fraud alerts are nice, but you should have a security freeze anyway. You couldn't even get into my credit report. Don't even got to verify nothing because nobody was able to get the credit report. That's just how I like to look at it. Like, I don't want to mess around and find out. But let's go on to episode 201.